What is up, Hope family? So today we have a very special Saturday story. You guys have probably seen this girl around. Her name's Jackie Goldbach, and she's gonna share with us a little of her story today. First, tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you came to know Jesus.
All right. Well, my name is Jackie, like you mentioned. Grew up here in Santa Cruz. I actually was introduced to Jesus at a very young age. So I went to a local church growing up. My family's Christian, so I was just kind of raised with that. And I enjoyed it. Like, I had a great church experience. Like, after graduating high school, I kind of fell away from the faith. Not so much like doing anything reckless or living a crazy life, but in my heart, I was just kind of like distant. So yeah, but growing up was awesome with church and my family.
So yeah, what drew you back in after sort of that heart space that you were in?
When I was in college, like after high school, there was a number of years where I probably would have considered myself agnostic, where it's not like I didn't believe that there was a God. I just wasn't sure, because growing up as a kid, I was taught this one thing, like my foundation was in Jesus. But then when you leave the nest and when you go out in the world and go into college and stuff, you're just exposed to all these different ideas of life and truth, and somewhere along the line, or somewhere along the way, I had a lot of doubt in my heart, and I was just kind of figuring out. I just didn't know what was the truth. But I also developed kind of like this really negative view of what it means to be a Christian, being judgmental and hypocritical and ignorant. And basically, like, that idea of what it meant to be a Christian, I didn't want to have anything to do with. I was probably more concerned that if, like, I identified as Christian, people would think a certain type of way about me. And I just didn't know. I had a lot of doubt. But it was really cool because in the midst of that time in my life, people kind of came into my life, and they're like, so they had Jesus, and it was so evident. Just their presence, like, so loving and joyful, and their life was so full of integrity, and like God had totally transformed them. So seeing them, it made me think, okay, if this Jesus thing is real, that's what it should look like. So that was huge for me. And then at the same time, that's when I kind of found Hope Church. It's kind of cool. I think I might be one of the only people who found it from an internet ad. I was skimboarding one day. There's a photographer taking pictures, and he got some cool photos of my friends and I, and he's like, check them out on the website. It was Santa Cruz Waves. And so I went there later that night, and there's like a little ad in the corner. It said, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what? Sorry for, like, I was just intrigued. So I clicked on it, and it was all about, like, I'm sorry for the way that Christians have misrepresented Christ. And I was like, whoa, because that for me was kind of like a roadblock. So anyways, it said they have free pancakes, and I was like, I'm down with that. Yeah. So I came and all by myself and checked it out, and just felt totally embraced by the community, and since then have kind of become more a part of it. And yeah, it's been awesome.
What is the biggest impact Christ has had on your life?
Yeah, I would say that's a tough question to answer, because it's not like one specific thing. But the more that I realized who God was and who he's created me to be, like, it's just sort of transformed my life, recognizing that all those things that I thought Christianity was all about, recognizing that it's actually the opposite. And the more that I follow Christ, actually the more loving and the more accepting and the more gracious and forgiving I become. And so just learning to walk that out and learning to trust God, like, that's huge for me. Like, being able to trust God, that's a game changer. Being transformed more into the person that God created me.
How has Christ affected your community directly?
One of the things I appreciate about being at Hope is you can relate people. It's authentic, and we say no perfect people, And I think people really feel that. So for me to see my community impacted, to see people who didn't think that God was for them, to see them kind of gain the courage to show up and learn that God loves them, and God's created that person with purpose and intentionality, and for them to kind of recognize their value, and to see God restore relationships has been the coolest thing. Like, the impact on our community is basically people recognizing that God is for them.
How has this pandemic sort of impacted your life?
Probably the most difficult thing for me. Like, it was really hard at first, but I've kind of come to like a more of a cool rhythm of slowing down. But the one thing that is really hard is over the last 8 years, having become so connected with the community here at Hope and really deep roots in Santa Cruz because I grew up here. It's making my transition not what I thought it would be. So, and a lot of people know that I'm heading up to Oregon to help plant another Hope Church. And that's already something that's like so difficult for me to do, to leave Santa Cruz. It just makes me really sad to realize that those last weeks that we were meeting, that was my last time being a skate church leader and a flow leader and with my kids from youth group, and like recognizing that might have been my last Sunday at Hope. And it's just hard knowing that, like, I probably won't even get to give my kids and my families and my friends a hug before I leave to Portland. So that's hard. Just recognizing that my transition is not what I thought it would be. That's been difficult. That's one thing that I've been learning how to do in this process, is just living open-handed and just kind of being flexible and stuff, and trusting God because he's got something good. So good.
When you, like, I don't even know if Hope even has job descriptions, but I've always wondered, like, under the Hope umbrella, like, what is your, like, title? Is it just like I just feel like Leatherman Multi-Tool is like your title, but I don't know, like, what's, like, because I've never asked you, but I've always wondered.
Yeah, I'm actually not completely sure my title either. I just tell people graphic designer / youth leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
But yeah, graphics, youth
leader, pro skimboarder, all around killer person. That's dope.
Well, Hope Church fam, that was our Saturday stories with Jackie Goldbach, aware of many, many hats here at Hope Church. Don't forget, if you have any prayer requests, send them to prayer@discoverhope.church. And don't forget to join us for our live streams tomorrow. We have 9 a.m. for the SoCal service, but if you're trying to tune in to Scotts Valley, that'll be at 10 a.m. All right? Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys in the next one.